What's up? It's me, Kevin. Figured I'd make another video today. So, a quick warning before I begin. Still working, still waiting for that mic, still working on that audio. So, there's probably gonna be a lot of background noise. We got a baby in the house. So, just a warning if you hear some squawking going on in the background. That's just that's just the baby. Anyway, I wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about. So, as I've mentioned many, many times, I've been going through a long period of unemployment. And I've probably applied to maybe, oh boy, probably 30, 40, 50 jobs by this point. I probably had an opportunity, maybe about five, at least five opportunities. But I ended up kind of blowing them off. And you're probably thinking, well, you're a dumbass. Why are you doing that? You should take whatever is given to you. Just take it. Just accept it immediately. But as I've said many times before, I've been trying to really focus on finding something that I can stick with, something that gives me enough, I can tolerate enough where I can actually show up, do the work, and not want to freaking kill myself. Where I don't have to deal with these toxic, idiotic coworkers. I've worked a few jobs, and the past year or so, some of them were so freaking bad. Like if you're just going into work and you're already depressed, and you already want to get out of there. Yeah, some of these jobs, they just fucking suck. They totally suck. They suck so bad. So I had this one job about a year ago that I got through a temp agency. And it was just so bad. It was some warehouse job. Basically, I was working at this electrical company cutting wires. So we had these huge machines we would pull these wires, anything from like really small wires to these really thick ones, like this thick, heavy as shit. These wires, we'd run them through this machine that would measure them, and would measure, like, estimate the footage, and then we would take these big old wire cutters and cut them, and then we would it was crazy. You run it through a machine and would wrap it around this big, they're called reels. They're like these big wooden spools or something. Man, I knew I was gonna hate that. When I learned about the hours, when I learned that, we didn't, at first it sounded exciting because it's like a day job, and I was looking for a day job, and I'm like, all right, I get to start in this new place, get to start working, hopefully during the day, get to start bright and early in the morning, because I used to work third shift, I know how much that shit sucks. I hate that shit. You have no life, you're like a freaking zombie. And you don't sleep well at all the stress, the lack of sleep. Anyway, I learned the day didn't start till 12 p.m., noon. And you didn't leave until the job was done. That could be, you were lucky to get out of there around 11, 12, midnight. And when it's really bad, when I worked there, some of my coworkers started really early when they were short staffed and didn't hire up enough people. They were telling me these horror stories about how they were there until 4 a.m. and then they had to be back the next day. And I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. Fuck that shit. I didn't last there very long. You're running these freaking wires with these machines, and the machines would always try to kick back on you. You had to chuck the wheels to keep them from, and the wires would flip, and they would try to hit you in the face and everything. You had to be on top of things. You took your eyes off that thing for 1 second, you could get a wire to the face. And it was just, And of course, it's a warehouse, so it's like 90 fucking degrees by then. It was just awful. And then there's places like, there's Amazon, there's FedEx. I've worked there multiple times, both places, both companies. I know how that is. That's always the same. And those always seem to be the easiest ones to get. And it's just, the job market sucks. I tell myself, Kevin, you need to find something worthwhile. Something that I can actually freaking stand. I have other goals. Yeah, I've got goals, I love doing this YouTube thing. And I got a side hustle that I love. At the moment, I ain't making shit off of that. So I gotta find something that I can just, lock the fuck in and focus on. Without having a brain aneurysm. But it's just like every single one for the past several years, every single job, it just got fucking worse and worse. And they're easy to get. Oh, they're easy to get. Those are the easy ones. So I'm like, you should try to focus on, you should try to aim big. Try to aim for something better. Tired of this crap shit. Settling for this bullshit. Bullshit job for bullshit wages. And if it doesn't have anything to do with if it doesn't align with what I like to do, why the fuck am I there? So, recently I found this one job that I applied to. It was actually really interesting. I mean, one thing I've always wanted, I always did fantasize about being a personal trainer, working at a gym. Of course, given my circumstances that I've been through, where you've been basically broke, usually you need to be certified for that. But those can be kind of pricey. But I actually found this one that I applied to where you can they'll actually reimburse you for your certification. And I'm like, oh man, this could be a good opportunity to break into something new, something that, because I've been lifting for on and off for a few years. I've actually kind of trained people. Not like, I've showed them some stuff. But I'm like, shit, you might as well try this. It's better than lifting boxes, loading trucks all the fucking time. Get to learn a skill, and then, you can work at a gym for like a year, and then you can move. If you want to start your own business, start your own personal training business, There's opportunities there. So I'm like, that's not bad. I got these other things I'm working on, but they're taking forever to take off, so might as well find something I enjoy in the meantime. Well, it doesn't look like I got it. So, I'm a little bummed. I actually got another couple of jobs that I applied to, but I don't know, there's this one driving a box truck, doing deliveries. I bet I could get it. I probably could get it. I'm sure other jobs, other warehouse jobs like FedEx, they'll take me right back. And I'll be right back to fucking square one. Loading boxes, busting my ass, getting taken advantage of. And all that's gonna do is make me dig and claw and scrape. Try to find the next thing so I can get out of that crap. They say, oh, learn a trade. Become an electrician, a plumber. Learn to weld. Get your CDL. Be a truck driver. Yeah. I'm sure those are lucrative ideas. But that just doesn't resonate with me. I've had a chance to get my CDL. But there was one day where it's like I was about to take, I enrolled in this course, or I was going to join this course. It's like a driving school. And on the way there, I got this feeling in me. I'm just like, No, man, what are you doing? This ain't you. This ain't what I'm about. The money's good, it's attractive, but I don't want to be on the fucking road all day. I'm semi-experienced. I used to be like a yard jockey. I used to be a switcher for FedEx Ground. I used to drive trailers, back them up onto doors. So I'm not scared of that shit. I'm not shy when it comes to driving and backing up trailers. But that's just not something I'm interested in doing the rest of my life. Now you could also say, well, that's an honorable trade. That's a serious job. We need them. They provide a service. So you shouldn't knock it. You shouldn't look down on it. You shouldn't think you're above it. And sure, they are essential workers. Meanwhile, you got all these social media influencers. You got these people on YouTube, TikTok making far more, but they're far less relevant to society. We don't actually need them. But they're still looked up on like they're gods. Meanwhile, it's the workers who are looked down on like trash, like slaves. That's one thing that always bothered me, especially when I used to work retail. I always felt like, the customers looked down on me in some way because they were better off than me. I was a servant. I was a slave to them. And you notice it's always these people, who really contribute to society. They bust their ass and they get paid like shameful wages so that they can't actually live off of that wage alone. They have to work multiple jobs, sweat, bust their ass just to keep society running. And what do they have to show for it? And I'm sure society would think as much of me if I just accepted that kind of life. So no, I don't want to just work my ass off to make other people happy. I want to do what I like. I want to do what I enjoy. I could give a fuck what other people think. You're not paying me. You're not feeding me. So why should I care what you think? So yeah, that's my little rant for the day. I guess I'll just have to keep searching. I'll continue on my quest. Eventually, I'm just gonna have to hit gold. Eventually, something's gonna click. Something's gonna work. But until then, I just have to keep on pushing. Anyway, that's all I got for now. So I'll see you later. Take care.